So the other day, I was thinking about Gen X slang words, and I started to realize that a lot of them ended in the letter K for some reason. So I thought, let's do a trivia video. I haven't done one in a while. So let's get right to it. Now, if you were a real Xer, then you use these 9 words a lot. And every single one of them has a really wild rule. They all end in the letter K. Well, except for one. It has the K sound, but it ends in the letter C. Now, this is the ultimate slang quiz. It's covering the people and the culture that we lived by in the halls and the malls and the skating rinks. So, are you ready to see how Gen X you really are? Well, let's go. Okay, I'm going to give you the definition first, and then you tell me the answer. Now, for number 1, just picture this. This person, they're the brainy one, the one that loves computers, science fiction, comic books, long before it was cool. Who was this person? The answer is geek. Now, there's a quote from the 1984 movie Revenge of the Nerds. It goes something like this: "You can still be the geek and get the girl." And I know, in the early 90s, me and my friends, we called each other geeks. Kind of meant, it was the precursor to loser. You're such a geek. Okay, number 2. This person is kind of awkward. Maybe the one that pulled a total bonehead move. Now, what do we call this person? The answer is dork. Remember that one? This one was used in so many 80s movies. The Breakfast Club, 16 Candles, The Goonies, Clueless. Such a dork. Okay, number 3, we're still talking about people here. This one is Gen X's very own counterculture group. Spiked hair, safety pins, and a complete disregard for fitting in. Name that demographic. And the answer is punk, which was also a whole entire category of music, punk music. Now here's a bonus one for this question. What was the hairstyle that the punk rockers made famous? And it also ends in the letter K. The answer to that one is the mohawk. Okay, we're on a roll. How are you doing? We're up to number 4. Okay, just travel back to high school. He's that athletic, sporty guy with the same name as the Ewing patriarch on Dallas. Who is that guy? The answer is jock. Again, this one was used in The Breakfast Club, but there were also jocks on Saved by the Bell, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. If you're a true Gen Xer, then you definitely knew who the jocks were in high school. Okay, question number 5. Now this term, it peaked in the Gen X era, and this is used to describe the cool girl, the one with the feathered hair, the Jordache jeans, and the guys, they loved to pick them up. Now who is this girl? The answer? Well, this would be a chick. And you can find this word in just about every single 80s movie out there. From Back to the Future, even TV shows like Married with Children. And yes, it was also used in The Breakfast Club. I think every single word in this video today was used in the Breakfast Club. Now, number 6, this one was used by the girls to describe a guy, maybe a movie heartthrob, the guy that everyone had a crush on. Come on, you know what this one is? What do the girls call that guy? The answer to this one is a hunk. Remember that one? He's a hunk. Women characters in Cheers, Peg Bundy and Married with Children, even the Golden Girls used this word to describe the hot guy. Now, number 7, it's a little different. This one is an adjective. It describes something bad or uncool, something totally lame. You might say it's, not even legit. Okay, here's a hint that'll give it away. Even Whitney Houston used this word. So what is it? The word is whack. Now, I've got a bonus point for you on this one. If you can actually quote the exact phrase that Whitney Houston used this word in, it was an interview that she did. It's another K word in there that rhymes with whack. Now, the answer to this one is crack is whack. And unfortunately, the next day, that tended to be the one thing from the interview that almost everyone was talking about. Now, the 8th question. This is a word with multiple meanings, depending on who's using it. Now, a Gen X teenager might say, "That jacket is so blank," meaning cool or awesome. It can also describe someone who's smooth or clever. But if your parents used the word, it was usually in a more negative connotation. If they were using it on you, they probably meant you were being sarcastic or being too cute for your own good. What was this word? The answer is slick. Man, that jacket is so slick. Now, this word was used so much in my friend circle that one of my friends named her actual cat Slick. Number 9, now our final word. It has that K sound, but it ends in a C. It first came into use during the disco era, and it meant stylish or fashionable. And then in the 80s, it became the brand name of a pair of really expensive jeans. So what was this word? The answer to this one is chic. Now, I have to admit, I wanted these jeans. Now, I didn't get them, but I also have to admit that I always thought they were chic jeans. I don't know, it was years before I realized that the real pronunciation of that word was chic. Now, speaking of jeans, my curiosity, I went back and looked to see how much certain brand name jeans cost back in the 80s. And they were pricey. Now, the chic jeans we were just talking about, they retailed for $40. But you also had, that were really popular, the Guess and the Jordache, Gloria Vanderbilt. Remember those? They were a darker wash usually. They were about the same price, but a little bit more, maybe. And then the most expensive ones of the time were the Calvin Klein jeans. And they went for $75 a pair. Now, my jeans, they had names, but it wasn't any of those. It was either Rustlers from Kmart or Tough Skins from Sears. And you know what's really even funnier about this? Here we are, we're in high school, and we're staring at everyone's butts, just trying to figure out what was on the back pocket. Now, I hope you enjoyed this quiz. I hope you enjoyed the trip down memory lane. I know I had a lot of fun researching and scripting this video out. Let me know in the comments which one was your favorite. Which ones do you still use today? Because I still use a lot of them today. I'd also love to know how many did you get right. Now, I've linked my entire nostalgic playlist right here, so you can go in there and pick and choose any video you're in the mood for. I promise it'll be a trip down memory lane. It'll bring back some great memories, I hope. So click right here for that. And until next time, have a great week. Stay Gen X awesome, Gen X cool. Bye. Big boy, big boy. Yeah. Hi. Oh. All right, go on.